A somber day as hundreds showed up to honor the deputy who gave the ultimate sacrifice to his community. On the left side of your screen here, you could see a small procession of police cruisers carrying the casket from the funeral home in Mount Gilead to Northmor High School. On the right, the casket arriving at the school with deputies removing it from the hearse and escorting it through the high school doors.
Kirsten Lindquist is live in Morrow County tonight. And Kirsten, it has certainly been an emotional day for many people in that community.
Yeah, even for myself, going through the line of grief just to console and talk with Daniel Sherrer's parents, just giving them a hug and saying, you know, I wish we were meeting under very different circumstances, but they told me he died doing the job he loved. In fact, they actually showed me a note of his that he wrote, signed from a very young Daniel Weston Sherrer. It reads, "My big dream is to be a policeman. I want to catch the villains, and I am willing to risk my life for the people in the United States."
Another thing his dad told me since he was 3 years old. You know, that was what he wanted to do.
A single casket with an American flag lying in the middle of the gym at Northmor High School. Deputy Daniel Weston Sherrer honored after paying the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty.
He had a calling on his life, and when he became a peace officer and joined this agency, it sounds like he just blossomed.
Family photos hanging as the community surrounds them with love during a time of unimaginable grief.
The people that are called and answer that call, they're prepared for whatever comes.
Sheriff John Hinton standing by the entryway, shaking hands with every single person.
It's more of a way to, the only way I can think to give back right now to the community. The only thing I could think at the time was go out and thank them and tell them how much I appreciate them for being there.
Sherrer's cruiser he was driving the night of his end of watch, now parked and adorned with yellow and white flowers and a black ribbon for the fallen 31-year-old.
It is a brotherhood, the peace officers, the law enforcement, jurisdictions, and different agencies. That all goes out the window when something like this happens.
This memorial not being the only one the Morrow County Sheriff's Office wants to do in his honor.
I'm going to look at getting 42 in front of the Sheriff's Office renamed in honor of him. When we do this memorial, I want to do it right.
Several community members have also put signs in their front lawns honoring the fallen deputy, as well as blue porch lights. Now, the funeral will be held here tomorrow at Northmor High School beginning at 11 a.m. And Steve Brenneman, the former Morrow County Sheriff, is said to be officiating. Live on your side in Galion, Kirsten Lindquist, ABC6 News.
Tomorrow, Deputy Sherrer will be laid to rest. His funeral is scheduled for 11, followed by a private graveside service. If you're unable to make it to that service, you still want to honor the fallen deputy. We're going to stream it on our YouTube page.
As that community remembers Deputy Sherrer tonight, the man accused of killing him went before a judge for the first time today.
And you can see here Brian Wilson appearing in court via video. Tom Bosco was in that courtroom, though, and it's unlikely he will get out of jail anytime soon, Tom.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. You know, he was also shot in that shootout with Daniel Sherrer last week. And then after a week in the hospital today, 53-year-old Brian Wilson making his first appearance in court.
When you're a small county like this, law enforcement isn't just a name on a report. They are people we work with day to day.
Not just a name on a report, but someone that prosecutor Andrew Wick worked with. Now, Wick has the task of prosecuting this man, 53-year-old Brian Wilson. Wilson, for now, facing just one charge, aggravated murder. But depending on what a Morrow County grand jury decides, he could face charges that could earn him the death penalty if convicted. Wilson was shot in the leg during the shootout with Deputy Sherrer. He spent nearly a week in the hospital and is now in the Delaware County Jail. He was wheeled into the hearing and appeared via video. Wick asked for $9 million bond. The judge called Wilson a flight risk and says holding Wilson without bond would be appropriate, but settled on a lower amount.
That amount will be $5 million cash surety only, no 10%.
Wick described his dealings with Deputy Sherrer.
When I came in, I asked the guys, make sure you're calling me if you have any questions, and Dan was always one he would call, and he'd apologize for calling. He was one of the good ones, always willing to help, always curious about updates in the law, keeping abreast. So he's making sure he's protecting people's rights, which, as we kind of saw in this case, that's what he was looking to do, is try to help somebody.
At the same time that Wilson appeared in court, the family and co-workers of Sherrer began the process of saying farewell.
I'm hoping that as soon as I can get done with my court day, I can get there. I told the family that I would be glad to stay there for them for the duration.
Now, Wilson is no stranger to the law. He has faced charges of domestic violence, assault, aggravated menacing in Marion over the course of about 15 years. Interestingly, in a case like this or an arraignment, we usually hear a few more details about what happened in the committing of the crime. Today, we got no new details about what happened over a week ago on Memorial Day. We will no doubt be hearing plenty more about that in the coming weeks. For now, though, live on your side in Mount Gilead, I'm Tom Bosco, ABC 6 News.